why would a teacher feel that this is so important to teach a child? And if they are, so I don't really want to get too much into Florida's parental rights bill, but the outrage around that. Pardon?
Just the Don't Say Gay bill. Yeah, I was making sure that I had the same one.
Right.
No, he didn't. See, this is where
that's
I'm
so
totally
dishonest.
convinced.
Yes.
I'm totally convinced that he's lying here. This is not. He knows what's going on here.
Right.
He knows.
Right.
Oh, I'm just making sure that we're talking about the same bill. No, you're not. You want her to say, you're like, this is the divide right here. Is she going to call it the anti-grooming bill? Or is she going to side with me and call it the Don't Say Gay
Well, she
bill?
didn't. She did. She said it by what it's actually called. The parental rights bill.
I know. Yeah, no. And Vaush is ticked about that.
Yes.
I was just like, listen, we run things here. Vaush would totally be the Nazi prison guard. You know he would.
He already is.
Basically, he is, isn't he?
He already is. Yeah.
Oh, scary. Very scary times. Very scary times that the guy who's the Nazi prison guard is the one going around calling everyone Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's being called by some people, but
it does prevent you from talking about sexuality, of which gay is one. Yeah.
Right, but it's about teachers teaching this in their curriculum for kids, kindergarten to grade 3, and for precluding parents from those discussions. That's what the bill is. You can say gay. There's nothing about this thing. There's nothing about saying gay. You can say gay all you want. It's about specifically teaching kids these ideas. So why are these educators so upset that they can't do that?
So
why is that so important?
Well, first of all,
I can't think of any teacher that I had in elementary or junior high or even high school, if they came forward and confided in me that they were gay, that I wouldn't just be like, cringe. Why are you telling me this? What the fuck? We have a professional relationship here.
Well, I mean, that was so weird too. It's like, yeah, like who are these kids that want to know all this personal shit about their teachers? I don't know any fucking thing about my teachers. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is so bizarre.
You're seeing these weird TikTok videos of these people who are like, oh, I can't tell my kids in class that I'm gay. I'm thinking,
good.
Why
the fuck are you talking about this?
Why is that a desire in your life to confide in a bunch of 7-year-olds?
Well, here's my concern. I think there's a bunch of fucking shitty young teachers who basically use their class and their children as like a form of therapy or something.
It's so sick.
It's like
sick behavior.
Right. Don't talk to your... I don't remember any of my teachers talking like it was... it was super rare. Like, especially when you're a young kid. I remember when you're a young kid, if you saw your teacher at like the grocery store, you're like, what the fuck?
Yes.
My teacher exists. They're a person outside of like the classroom. Like, what the fuck? Like, it freaks you out. You're like, this is bizarre. And I don't remember any of my teachers, especially in elementary school or even middle school. It was really only high school where maybe you start to get glimmers of like your teacher's personal lives. Because they felt like they could talk to you like a human being, because you're not a child. You're not exactly like the child you were when you were middle school or elementary school. But before then, I don't remember the teachers talking about their personal lives at all. And I think that's the way it should be.
I saw my high school Spanish teacher outside of class driving down the street. I'm with a bunch of friends and we look over and we thought, oh, there she is, Miss Neatman. And she's totally picking her nose. She's like going in there deep. I mean, deep. She's like, she's digging for gold. I will never forget.
There you go. There you
not
go.
Not only is she human, and man, she must have been like 3 feet tall, because she's like she could barely see over the steering wheel. It's like a small child driving the car. And she was more interested in picking that nose than she was driving. And we laughed and pointed.
Oh no.
I know. I couldn't help myself. Come on. I was just a kid. It's just a stupid
kid.
I'm
not saying it's bad. That's funny. But
yeah. Yes. I did not. Maybe she was gay. I don't know. I don't care. We wouldn't have changed how I thought about her.
You have to watch that episode of South Park where
I know I do.
I'm pretty sure the first like 10 minutes of it are just it's Mr. Garrison coming into the classroom.
Oh yeah.
And telling all the kids about his gay relationship, and all the kids are like, "Why are you telling us this?"
See, they know. They're Trey Parker and
Matt Stone.
Yeah, they know.
They know.
Kids are not interested in this.
Right.
You're just using them as some sort of emotional crutch, and it's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird and creepy.
It is weird. Yep.
And if we have, I mean, isn't the law really designed to help us deal with weird and creepy people? I feel like it is. I feel like that's the whole point of the law, right?
I like that. To deal with weird and creepy people. I guess that's true.
I mean, how is it not?
Yeah, that's accurate.
I mean, if we didn't have indecent exposure laws, we'd be dealing with a lot more weird and creepiness.
Bunch of weird creepos running around.
Yeah, I mean, this is normal.
This
is how we deal with things. Yeah, stop mischaracterizing this shit, Vaush. Stop being part of the problem and start being part of the solution. It'd be good for you.
That's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, his income is totally tied up in straw manning everyone on the internet.
Exactly.
The Don't Say Gay bill is borderline unconstitutional. It's restriction of First Amendment educational rights.
What a fucking dumbass. Holy shit.
So disingenuous. Where'd you get that off of Reddit? Did you get that off a Reddit thread?
I didn't hear the end of this. What a dumb fuck. He thinks
yeah.
If the Don't Say Gay bill was unconstitutional on First Amendment grounds, that would, you know what else would be unconstitutional on First Amendment grounds? Saying teachers can't teach you about creationism.
Right.
Dumb fuck.
Yeah.
Would also be unconstitutional. But it's not, because it has nothing you're talking about what a public school teacher who's acting as an agent of the government, okay?
Right.
So the government doesn't have free speech from itself.
Right.
I don't know if you know this. Okay. People have free speech from the government.
Right.
So yeah, what are you fucking talking about? This is dumb. This is so dumb.
Yeah.
This is crazy dumb.
Nick Rekieta made a video on this that was really good, and I can't remember the way he characterized it, but I'll get the gist of it right. He was basically saying that we as parents have the right to teach our kids however we see fit, and that we are turning that right over to the state to do it on our behalf, but we still have veto power over that right. They're doing this right as a service to us.
Right.
So yeah, they don't have free speech in any way, shape, or form. But you could also say, you know, like someone could, like, giving away government secrets if you're in the military is not a free speech right. Okay. It's like, if you're a government employee, you have certain rights. Like, who was the woman that decided she wasn't going to give out gay marriage certificates? Like, she can't come out and say, this is my art. Okay, this is my free expression. No gay people.
She did try to make that argument. Yeah,
she did.
She did.
And
she did.
failed
I don't remember her
miserably.
name. Yeah. And
they fired her
because because they're like, well, it doesn't, you personally can have this opinion, but when you're working for the state as a state actor, you have to follow what the fucking law says.
Exactly.
It's borderline unconstitutional. God, what a fucking moron.
I'll be right back.
What a dipshit. What a dipshit, chat. Chat, can you believe the dippiness of this dipshit? God.
So I feel like this isn't really just like a woke left thing. Like, there's a reason the entire Democratic Party has condemned it as well.
Yeah, that reason is because it's good politics, because they get to say Republicans are evil, bigoted, racists, and transphobes. That's the reason. It's purely cynical. Purely cynical.
It's not particularly. It's not just. So first of all, it prohibits in curriculum the instruction of anything pertaining to sexuality or gender. but there isn't a very strong legal definition for curriculum as opposed to just classroom discussion. And from the way the Libs of TikTok Twitter account and all of its subsidiaries are acting, it seems like just bringing up the existence of gay or trans people constitutes political grooming to a lot of these types. And then you have the fact that
that's not an argument. There is. Oh my God. I'll have to look at the law again. But if the law just says a teacher or can't be part of the curriculum, it means part of the curriculum. It doesn't mean that if a random kid asks you a question, the teacher is going to go to fucking jail for answering a question. What the fuck is he talking? This is insane. I never heard him talk about the subject matter. Usually his BS is like a little bit more artfully done than this. This is bad.
I just want to TikTok because I know that you've mentioned them a couple times in this conversation. That I don't want to speak for them. I know. I don't want to speak for them because I don't know them and I don't know what their intentions are. So I think it's just fair to say that much, right? We don't know. We can't really attribute motive to them because we don't know.
Well, we know they're a far-right political operative whose goal seems to be to paint a bunch of trans and gay and gender non-conforming people who work in education as groomers. And
I like that she's literally saying, listen, you can talk about what they're doing. You could talk about the subject matter, but you can't judge their motivation. You can't ascribe all this negative motivation. And Vaush like, no, actually I can. Actually, I fucking can. I can ascribe whatever negative motivation I want.
Well, you're doing the same thing, so.
That's true, but Vaush is a piece of shit.
Right. So you're allowed to ascribe bad motive. That's why I just assume go with like, we have physical evidence that he's a dipshit. I mean, we can say that he's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I
think being a dipshit goes more than dumb. I think being a dipshit includes dishonesty.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
in spite of, for the vast majority of the people they outline, of course, there's no actual evidence of any grooming taking place. It seems like a very cheap and cynical politicization of the word personally. Anyway.
A leftist complaining about the cheap politicalization of a word is woof. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. Mr. Everyone's a Nazi is worried about being called a groomer.
Right.
I fucking love this. It's
right.
I gotta admit, I love it.
Well, and to be clear too, and this is, I mean, you can make this argument, and this is true, is that when James Lindsay, who I am assuming is where Chris Rufo got the groom word for, because I think James Lindsay is the first person to call this grooming. This was done intentionally because when you hear grooming, you think of like pedophilia.
Yeah,
right.
Of course.
But but that's not what the term grooming means. It just means that you're basically trying to indoctrinate or brainwash a child into anything, really. And that's so he's sort of using the term in a somewhat sly, double meaning, which, you could complain about that. Sure. As maybe that's not the most honest framing, but that's basically the left's bread and butter right now, is they use dishonest words in this way. So I think it's fair game. I think it's entirely fair game.
It is fair game. And it's also, I mean, it's rich because it's one better. First of all, the Nazi thing is completely worn out, and no one believes anyone is an actual Nazi. The grooming charge, people are like, is he a groomer? I don't know. Right?
Right. No, that's definitely true.
I mean, they're using Nazi as a synonym for racist, which you could think, well, is he a racist? But according to Robin DiAngelo, everyone's a racist. But I think the grooming charge is much worse than being a racist.